Hello and welcome to the Sideboard. I am Ruben Bressler, and I am joined by Brandon Large. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm well. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. It's always nice to meet people that I know from Twitter.
Right.
And so you can follow him at large Brandon on Twitter if you want to hear his magical opinions, which are valid because you've brought an interesting deck to the table.
I have.
That was probably based on the modern deck a little bit. Jund. So you've decided to bring Jund to a legacy event.
Absolutely. This is basically a modern Jund deck. Besides the lands, there's 5 legacy cards.
Sure.
I watched the Pro Tour and I really enjoyed the Jund deck. And I never played Blood Red Elf when it was in Standard because I didn't play Magic then. I took a little bit of break back then. So every chance I can get an opportunity to play Blood Red Elf, I do.
Right.
And I've tried in the past to play a Blood Red Elf deck. It never worked. But with Deathrite Shaman, added a little bit of mana acceleration to give the deck a little oomph that it needs.
Yeah, the Deathrite Shaman, just like in Modern, is the Birds of Paradise that you never had with original Jund, because he didn't want to play Birds of Paradise because it's the worst cascade ever.
Absolutely.
But every once in a while, it can also be a Graveyard Hate card or a Grim Lavamancer. So it adds a whole nother dimension to the deck.
Absolutely, it is by far the best card in the deck.
Yeah, and
I'm even excited to Blood Red Elf into it.
Yeah, and it also recovers life that you lose from Dark Confidant and from Thought Seize and other damage sources that come your way. So you were saying that there are a couple cards that you've added for Legacy that weren't in the original version.
Right.
One of those is Scavenging Ooze.
Yes, Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenging Ooze does have a modern card for him, but you can't play it in Modern. So tell us a little bit about why you're running the one-of main deck Scavenging.
Scavenging Ooze is the 5th Tarmogoyf. Also, it acts as a 5th Graveyard Hate. Alongside with Deathrite Shaman.
So sort of a catch-all.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Another one that you have is the Sylvan Library in concert with the Blood Red Elves and the Dark Confidants. Big card advantage engines out of a non-blue deck.
Absolutely, and it lets you stack your Blood Red Elves and your bombs.
Yep, and you've got a lot of discard spells, which haven't really been popular in Legacy recently. But with Omnitel and Miracles making comebacks, maybe discard is something.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Discard with like Rug in the format isn't that fantastic, but my weakest matchups are cards decks that could beat me turn 1, turn 2, and so I wanted a plethora of discard spells to help fight against that.
Sure. Now, the more interesting thing to me than the spells in your deck are your lands. We've got one of each basic. We've got the normal fetch lands. We got the wastelands, but we got a couple interesting singletons. We have first of all Lava Claw Reaches and Volrath Stronghold. So tell me about the roles of both of those.
Well, Volrath Stronghold is very powerful. It lets you put your Blood Red Elf back on top of your library after it dies. So against my Maverick matchup round 1, I just blocked for days and kept Blood Redding every turn.
It also lets you put other creatures on top when you have Blood Red Elf in hand.
Indeed. Also, it works well with Eternal Witness, which is just another value creature.
Sure. And Lava Claw Reaches.
Lava Claw Reaches, until this morning, it was a Treetop Village. Unfortunately, I treat it as a 1-drop, and I really wanted to have a consistent turn to him. Even though the Manland power of it is significantly less than Treetop Village, the mana was much more important.
Well, the other thing about it is that it is a mana sink, and you don't have a ton of those in your deck.
Indeed.
You've pretty much got Scavenging Ooze, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Mana sink. You've got a lot of catch-all answers in your sideboard.
Right.
You've got a couple that catch my eye. First of all, Kitchen Finks is it was sort of the argument of Geralt's Messenger versus Kitchen Finks at the Modern Pro Tour.
Right.
You've got Kitchen Finks here, obviously, because the aggressive burn decks like Rug Delver, Blue Red Delver, Burn in general are also much more prevalent in Legacy.
Right, and with Deathrite Shaman, it's easy to go turn 2 Kitchen Finks against a Rug matchup. It's really significant, and I kind of figured I was dead in the water against mono red.
Sure.
So I added some Kitchen Finks.
One of the more interesting choices that I see in your sideboard is Boom Bust. Now, what is that for?
I added this morning. Well, it's for basically any control decks.
Right.
I've always wanted to cast Bloodbraid into Boom Bust because you can cast either side if you cascade
so if you
into
cascade Blood Red Elf and you turn over the Boom, you can cast the Bust side.
Indeed. But also Bust is good because you can target your own fetch land and then target their land, and you're down no land.
Sure, and then you can do that on turn 2 with your Deathrite Shaman sometimes.
Indeed.
And so it comes in against like Blue-White Miracles, any deck that's trying to get more than 4 lands in play in Legacy, which isn't that many of decks, but it's at least a couple.
Absolutely.
This looks like a blast to play. I really want to see where Jund can go in terms of Legacy, because it's a little bit difficult to try and port decks from Modern into Legacy, because you don't have Force of Will, you don't have Wasteland keeping things in check in Modern, whereas you do in Legacy. And there's so much more broken things that you can do in Legacy, but you're also, the checks and balances against those are different. Do you think that there's hope for a Jund deck in Legacy?
I wouldn't say Jund per se. I would say a Deathrite Shaman deck. Because Deathrite Shaman is just so powerful. It's such a catch-all. It's by far the best Birds of Paradise ever printed. The advice I would say, if you see a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman, make sure it's off the table as quickly as possible, because it will destroy you.
Deathrite Shaman or Stoneforge Mystic, better 1-2 in Legacy? It's close.
Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman?
Deathrite Shaman.
All right, there you go. Well, I think that this is a good place to start. I think that there's a lot of possibility for improvement as well. But you're doing great with the deck already, so good luck in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.